Whenever a new David Fincher film is released, there is always one thing I really look forward to watching: the title sequence. He is one of the few film directors that still make use of the title sequence. If you watch most modern movies, they usually start off like this, where they don't have a title sequence. Or if they do, it is usually after the first scene, after the filmmakers have already grabbed the audience's attention. Why is that? Well, the general opinion among filmmakers is that the beginning of your film is a make or break moment. The moment that the audience decides whether they want to keep watching the film or leave. Or nowadays, change to another one. In this digital age, where streaming services dominate the distribution landscape and theatre attendance dwindles, as well as the ability to switch from watching one film to watching another is easier than ever, having an interesting and exciting opening is more important than ever. And unfortunately, title sequences are boring. Or are they? But wait, before I get ahead of myself, what is a title sequence and why would you use one? A title sequence is a sequence at the beginning of a film that presents the key production and cast members through the use of both conceptual visuals and sound. And in the beginning of the film industry, that's just what they did. Title sequences were just cards played in the beginning of a film, usually over a black screen. When sound came, title sequences were accompanied by an overture, an introductory piece of music. They were used as a way to tell the audience, sit down, shut up, the film is starting. But over time they evolved. Somewhere along the line their function changed. They became more than just names on a screen. They became a way for the filmmakers to introduce the tone of the film, and in doing so, became more inventive, more creative, more entertaining. That brings me to today, where title sequences don't really exist anymore. This isn't counting film franchises that have title sequences baked into its formula, and definitely not counting television, where title sequences have flourished and are being used to great effect to create iconic introductions that are immediately recognizable and synonymous with the particular show it was created for. Since title sequences are usually long, they are perfect for TV, a way to both show the tone of the show, whether it is comedic or dramatic, the setting, fantasy, science fiction, post-apocalyptic, and as a way to build anticipation for the coming episode. But what I want to talk about are good old-fashioned film title sequences, like this one, which is delightful and perfectly sets the tone of the film through sound and hints at the plot through its visuals. It's a chase movie, although to be fair it's in the title. One of my personal favorites, this one from Lord of War, where the audience follows the life of a bullet, from birth all the way up until death. Literally. It's a very memorable sequence. But out of all filmmakers working today, no one does it better than David Fincher. David Fincher understands the power a good title sequence can have. He knows that they aren't played before the film starts. They are the film, a distillation of the tone and the themes, a way to prepare the audience for what they're about to experience.
Sit.
Take the title sequence from Fight Club, a film where the big reveal is that one of the main characters actually isn't real, but a projection of an inner personality of the protagonist. It's only appropriate then that the title sequence takes place inside the mind of the protagonist, hinting at the psychological nature of the film, something you only notice on a subsequent viewing.
This is it. Ground zero.
Or the title sequence from The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. Disturbing, violent and sexual images that flash on the screen to the fast tempo of the song hint at the themes that the film will tackle. The fact that everything is being consumed by black liquid as if to suggest the darker side of humanity. The way we can be overrun and consumed by our base desires and instincts for things such as sex, violence and revenge. David Fincher knows that it's not only the sound and the images that can be used to effectively convey meaning in a title sequence, but also the typography. All his films have unique typography that is supposed to visually represent the distinct nature of each film. In The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, the movement of the words, the way they are being compressed suffocatingly, as well as the fact that certain letters lengthen or grow, gives an unsettling feeling to the audience. In 7, the unusual and mismatched font, the shaking and the flashing of the typography point to the unstable nature of the antagonist, the person whose perspective the title sequence is portraying. This, coupled with the eerie sound and the juxtaposition of the often disturbing images, creates a distinctive effect and message for the audience. This film is dark. In Zodiac, a film that follows the journalist at the San Francisco Chronicle and the detectives who investigate the Zodiac killer, it's only fitting that the typography is reminiscent of the typewriters used at that time. Notice the fade out to strange symbols, hinting at the cryptograms the Zodiac killer would send to newspapers during the height of his killings, and that will play a crucial part in the film.
It's unsigned except for a symbol.
Even The Social Network, whose title sequence can be easily shrugged off as being simple and forgettable, still has a lot of attention to detail paid to it. The large shots of Harvard and its landmarks ground the story. The fact that Mark Zuckerberg, the person who created the biggest social media platform to ever exist, connecting billions of people, is walking alone. He's not greeting anyone on his way back to his room, says so much without actually saying anything. His quick pace and head tilted towards the ground suggest he is uncomfortable being outside and is quickly hurrying back to the comfort of his room and computer. And finally, the typography, something I didn't notice until making this video. Look at the way the titles wipe in. It's exactly the same as the way a computer monitor refreshes its image, from top to bottom. It's the little things you only notice after a second or third viewing, or when you are actively studying his work, that really make you appreciate the amount of effort that goes into each of his films.
On the set, you know, you're walking around the room, you know, I mean, these guys were so detailed. My course schedule was on my desk wall. The camera never even got near that.
David Fincher is known to be a demanding director. A director that has his eye on every little detail of the scene, whether it's the camera placement, costumes, set design or props, but most famously for the amount of takes that he does.
And we did it 99 times. We didn't do it 100 times for some reason. He didn't want to do it one more time just to hit 100.
He has his eye on everything, and it is something you can feel, that you are being guided by someone who knows exactly what he is doing, seeing exactly what he wants you to see, feeling exactly what he wants you to feel, as all those little details add up and become something bigger. Even though he knows that most of the audience won't notice these little details, he does them anyway because, like title sequences, they are a part of the film. No matter how small or seemingly insignificant they may be, they are still important and should be done properly. So to summarize, title sequences should be used more often, because when done properly, they can be a great and entertaining way to start the film. They shouldn't be an afterthought, titles just slapped onto random shots in the beginning of the film that don't have dialogue. Put some effort into them. Be creative. Be entertaining. Be David Fincher, because he knows that title sequences don't play before the film starts. They are the film. My name is Brandon. Thank you for watching.